And if you hear singing in the background, my 16-year-old never stops, and they're home from school today. So, and I don't have the tart to tell her to stop because I love to hear her voice. Aquarius, coming out first in our mental space is the Seven of Cups. So there may be some indecision or a reevaluation of, what do I really want to connect to emotionally this month? And that may be on your mind a bit. Weighing options or considering options, or where am I going to spend my time? Who do I want to connect with? How do I want to connect with them? Whether you're single or with someone, this doesn't have to be a significant other, a dating type relationship or spousal type relationship. This can be friends and family and coworkers. But I kind of see this guy standing at a vending machine and weighing his options. And some of the options don't look very appetizing. And some of them are kind of a mystery. And some of them hold a lot of promise. So I just take this as a time to evaluate how you're connecting to people, who you're connecting with, how you're connecting with them, and just reevaluating that. Spend some time thinking about it and deciding what button you're going to push there. Coming next in our physical space is the Star. So apparently, Aquarius, you are feeling very much like yourself. This is your card. In your physical space, you may just feel very comfortable there, renewed, refreshed, relaxed, all those beautiful R words, because that's what this card's all about, is a renewal and just feeling connected, feeling, I don't know, like the universe is shining on you. And that's a really beautiful energy. I love this card, and I love you, Aquarius. People, I have a child who's an Aquarius who is a lot of fun, and she is spunky and smart and a little feisty, and her personality is refreshing. So every time I see this card, it kind of just, it squeezes my heart a little bit, because I see my baby and all of the amazing attributes associated with this card as part of her personality. And now, don't get me wrong, my children aren't perfect, but she's a really cool kid. And it's hard for me to articulate this card so much, because it does manifest so much feeling for me that's associated with her. So, as an Aquarius, if you're curious about this card and what it means, look it up, Google it. It's easy to find information on tarot. And don't just read from one source. Different sources have different perspectives on the energies and how they play in our life. But for me personally, in this reading, I just feel like it's you feeling good in your own body. And especially here, followed by the Knight of Wands and our emotional space, he is feeling himself, right? He's fancy. He's like, he has this charisma about him, and he appreciates beauty in his space, but he also appreciates it within himself. He doesn't have a problem like showing off here. Both he and his horse are like, we have arrived, pay attention to us. So those two cards coming out for your physical and emotional space. I just feel like you feel good, and that's amazing, Aquarius. I really hope you do. I really hope you are encompassing some of those feelings of feeling really comfortable in your own skin, appreciating who you are, letting your passions and your desires and your excitements in life and your willingness to be involved in this world and experience life show through this month. I just think that looks like a really beautiful energy combination. And then we're followed here by the Eight of Coins. And this is coming in our spiritual space. And this guy's obviously put in some diligent work. He's doing the same thing over and over again. He's creating something. He's putting in time. He's mastering his craft. This card can speak of monotony a little bit. So you may feel like you might feel a little bored in some of your spiritual practices or connections in life. So you might want to mix it up a little bit, but that's not telling you to stop working altogether. It's just take the skills you've learned and maybe see, hey, I'm going to try to approach this in a different way, or add some creativity into how I'm doing this, or just try something new. I'm going to still put in work to connect to myself and connect to my spirituality, but maybe I need to just mix it up a little bit. And I think this does show homage to work that you've been putting in, whether it's a practice in your life, attending some kind of group meeting or event or services that help you feel connected and help you feel like you're making progress. You know, like this is a lot of work. I would feel good about that, appreciate that about yourself. But if you are feeling a little like, this is getting old, that doesn't mean stop. That just mean you need a shift in perspective, or a shift in how you approach that aspect of yourself. All right, Aquarius, we're going to pause there and we're going to move on to the second part of our reading. I find it interesting that the sun came out for a challenge with a star as your physical space. A challenge, the sun card can be one of feeling very joyful, feeling very connected, feeling, like you're part of the earth, and that sunshine is fueling you. This may be that you just simply need to get outside and let the sunshine stand on you, let your feet touch the earth. That nourishing and healing that can happen in the sunshine. Yeah, I really feel like I'm taking this in a much more physical context rather than emotional for some reason. And that's really all I can think about is putting your feet on some dirt or some sand or some whatever is in your space of the world, and looking up at the sky and paying attention to the outside world. Some of us get really consumed by our homes and our jobs and our families and our stuff and all of them. We lose touch with the world and how big and vast and amazing it all is and how it all works. So maybe taking the opportunity to disconnect a little bit and be in nature, or just simply breathe some fresh air, go for a walk. Anything where you can connect in your physical body this month may really play a role. I would just take that opportunity if it's given to you this month and see how that makes you feel. We have the Death card and the 8 of Coins again for the second time. They're just depicted differently from the different artists, but they're the same card again. He's put in the work, and his are displayed a bit differently, but he's there doing it. And the Death card here, coming out as a strength, is the ability to allow things to end. The understanding that things have this cyclical nature, and when one thing comes to its completion, that allows room for energy to evolve into something else. And I believe, Aquarius, from what I know of a lot of you personally, that you are able to do that. You're not necessarily prone to holding large grudges or carrying around things from the past. A lot of you do seem to possess a strength of being able to move on from things in a healthy way without getting too beat down. I'm not saying that you don't hurt and suffer and whatnot like the rest of us. I'm saying that you do possess a strength of being able to understand that energy, and a lot of you, your personalities are capable of letting things end. And so, but it's coming here with this 8, and to me, this may be speaking about finding ways to end monotony, finding ways to keep things fresh and renewed for yourself, finding ways to use this creativeness, use this spark, use this enthusiasm and passion to allow your work to progress, to evolve, to whatever, by allowing something to end. And I've done this before. I've recreated things. I've grown something from doing it once to doing it 1,000 times and becoming masterful with it, those kinds of things. So I think that's a beautiful strength for you this month. And however that plays in your life, I think it's just important to understand that you're more than capable of dealing with the endings of things. Let's pull a card for your need to know. Right, so we have the 5 of Cups and the 10 of Wands. The 5 of Cups is the card of grief. I've spoken about this card a lot. He is not able to see what's ahead of him. He can only, at this point, pay attention to something that he has lost. And so I talk about this card being a pause, and it's not that I want people to rush through grief by any stretch. I understand that the losses in our life can take a big toll on us. They can take a long time for some of us to work through. They can really limit how we can look into the future because we're very concentrated on this. I, however, like to remind people, though, that they need to lift their heads once in a while. And regardless of how much grief and how much this hurts and how much you're focused on it, that it's important to not just get stuck there. And you can still respect your grief and allow time for yourself to appreciate that there's more to come, appreciate that there's other opportunities ahead of you, and to not just don't be stuck there. The 10 of Wands can be a card of burden. He's obviously carrying around something he doesn't want to be carrying around. For goodness sakes, he has a roach on his back. So this can be taking on more than you should. This can be overextending yourself. This can be feeling very weighed down by things, life. These 2 cards coming together makes me feel like you could be carrying around someone else's stuff that you may be carrying someone who's stuck there. Picking up the slack, if you will. And I don't say that in a negative way. Sometimes we have to really put in a lot of work for the people that we love and care about. When, in marriages and relationships, there's times where one of you is strong and one of you is not. And there are times that you will pick up the slack for them so they can have their time to heal, or they can have their time to do whatever they need to do. I think these coming out in your need to know is just a way for you to be mindful of, if you're doing that, is it good for you? Is it healthy for you? How can you have a better relationship to this? And it's not horrible if you're the one carrying around somebody else's stuff, or, but don't wear yourself out. And now if somebody else is carrying around your stuff because you can't get your life together, which I don't believe with the other cards coming out, I don't really think you're the one that's being the problem, Aquarius. But if you're putting your stuff on other people so you can stay stuck there, you may need to have some honest conversations with yourself and help yourself, come to an end with that, so you can lift your head and redistribute some of this burdensome stuff that's happening in your space. So someone doesn't have to feel like that, whether it's you or someone else, but just a reassessment of how this is gonna go. So you can both, whoever this is, or it could just all be you, but continue on in a healthier way. So we have the Page of Wands. So we have the Knight of Wands up here, the Page, and the Queen of Swords. The Page of Wands, like the Knight, is that excitable, passionate, willing kind of energy to get involved, to get creative, to think outside the box, and to feel comfortable within yourself and look for ways to feel comfortable in your space. A lot of times with the wands, I think of flow state. When we're like an artist can disappear into their painting for hours and lose track of time, or musician sitting and playing, their instrument, and they just get to a space where they're creating and they feel good and they have no concept of what's happening around them, right? And the Page is kind of young and immature, so he might be a little rash or not always make the greatest decisions. But mixed here with the Queen of Swords energy, which she is all about logic and just fairness. Those kinds of, the swords are the analytical sides of our brains, right? Of being decisive and making decisions and being, feeling competent and capable of doing that. And I love the Queen of Swords. She is my favorite. I say favorite for about 5 or 10 different kinds. She's one of my favorites because I associate with her. I sometimes think of her as someone who's brutally honest to a fault. That friend that will hold no punches, tell you exactly what they think, are going to call you on your BS and be really straightforward, but they have good intentions. They truly have your best interest at heart. So they're willing for you to not like what they say, in order for you to hear what you need to hear. You know what I mean? So these kinds of energies coming together are very powerful. There's this willingness to create, but also has this logic side of, I'm going to make good choices and I'm going to approach this in a way that has people's best interest in heart, but I'm also going to be fun and carefree and excited about it.